we were discussing about rotodynamic fluid machines, and as an example we discussed some of the characteristics of the centrifugal pump. Now centrifugal pump is not the only example of rotodynamic machines, but you could have other rotodynamic machines. In fact, you could have turbines also operating in the rotodynamic principle. To understand that what are the important parameters which govern the behavior of such devices, let us try to consider a more generic example where we try to have a performance characteristic assessment through the performance characterization parameters of a rotodynamic device. Rotodynamic fluid machine. We will keep in mind here that we are not really treating the most general case where the density could also be a variable. Here we are considering a constant density case. So if you look into the output parameters of performance, we have looked into two important parameters already, Q and H. If you recall, in the characterization of the centrifugal pump, we plotted a HQ characteristic. So that means the head and the discharge were important, and eventually the power is also important. The power is more important when you consider that as an output parameter. For example, for a turbine, at the end you are interested to get feel of what is the power output from the turbine. So Q, H, P, these are some of the important output parameters. Now what are the input parameters which dictate the variations in these? One may be, of course, the density of the fluid. Then when you have a rotodynamic device, you have its RPM. So N, which is the RPM, you may also write it in terms of omega or the radian per second, but typically we write it in the RPM. Then the diameter of the rotor and possibly the viscosity of the fluid. These could be the input parameters which should govern the behavior of these output parameters. So in totality we are getting sort of 7 number of parameters. There could be more parameters if you look into more and more sophistication, that is the relative surface roughness and all those things, but we will not go into that sort of details. We will try to get a gross picture. So these are the parameters. Now we have to see that when you have these parameters, some of these are dependent and some of these are independent variables. Now how these parameters combine to give certain more meaningful collection of parameters, typically non-dimensional parameters. To do that we will be using the Buckingham pi theorem. So we have to understand therefore that or first we have to figure out what are the dimensions of the individual quantities or parameters. So let us just write the dimension. So what is the dimension of Q? It is like meter cube per second. So L cube T to the power minus 1. Usually when you consider the head, it is combined with the G. I mean it does not, it is just a tradition, it makes no difference except the dimension, but G being a constant, GH, you know that the V square will scale with GH. So it gives a sort of a feeling of energy per unit mass. So in that way considering a G as a prefix of this H, it does not disturb the nature of the variation because G is a constant as such, but it gives a sort of a feel of energy directly. So then if you consider GH, then what is its dimension? Yes, L square T to the power minus 2. Okay, then power. Yes, m so it is just force into the velocity then density kg per meter cube, right. N, yes, t to the power minus 1, right. Then d L, viscosity m L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 1. So now how many fundamental dimensions are there? M, L and T, 3 fundamental dimensions are there, and how many parameters are there? 7. So you expect how many non-dimensional parameters or pi terms? 7 minus 3, that is 4. So let us try to identify the pi terms. To do that, what we will first do? We will have to choose the repeating variables. So this is the most important stage, because the choice of repeating variables is it is not a trivial one. You may have many choices, but whatever repeating variables you choose, they should satisfy certain characteristics. What are the important characteristics? First of all, what is the number of repeating variables? That is equal to number of fundamental dimensions. So here 3 number of repeating variables. The important thing is that in the repeating variables you should not put the dependent variables. So that means you should not put this q, g, h or p as repeating variables. So you have really 4 possible parameters, out of which any 3 you can take as repeating variables, but you must be sure that when you consider the collection, the collective repeating variables should contain all the dimensions, none of the repeating variables should have the same dimension and none of them should be dimensionless. And here you can see that any 3 out of these 4 if you choose, that will satisfy that, right. So but if you just consider, say as one of the examples, let us say rho n d we choose as repeating variables. It does not mean that we can't choose rho n mu like that, but this is just an example. It will not matter eventually, because depending on the choice of the repeating variables you will get different dimensionless terms, but combinations of dimensionless terms also are dimensionless terms. Therefore whatever dimensionless terms are of your physical interest, usually the dimensionless terms of physical interest are which give the ratios of certain important forces like that, and those you may retrieve from the combinations of the different non-dimensional numbers, even if you do not get them directly. So let us say that rho n d are repeating variables, then pi 1. So pi 1 we call as rho to the power x1, n to the power y1, d to the power z1, and then maybe one after the other each variable. So let us say mu. So that means in terms of dimensions, rho to the power x1 is m to the power x1, L to the power minus 3x1, n to the power y1 is t to the power minus y1, d to the power z1 is L to the power z1, and mu is m L minus 1 t minus 1. Since pi 1 is dimensionless, the power of each of the dimensions should be 0 in the right hand side. That means you have x1 plus 1, that is for m, that is equal to 0, for L minus 3x1 plus z1 minus 1 is equal to 0, for t minus y1 minus 1 equal to 0. So from here you will get x1 is equal to minus 1, y1 equal to minus 1, and what is z1? z1 is minus 2. So what is pi 1? mu by rho n d square, right. You can see that it is a sort of a Reynolds number, because d into n sort of gives a velocity which is like the tangential velocity, just like v equal to omega r, that one. So therefore it is like mu divided by rho into some velocity into d. So 1 by Reynolds number type of field it is giving. We will not concentrate so much on these dimensionless parameter, because many times for very high Reynolds number flow the effect may not be so sensitive to the Reynolds number that we have seen, but other parameters should be of greater importance, and we will concentrate more on the pi 2, pi 3 and pi 4. So let us consider the pi 2. So let us say rho to the power x 2, n to the power y 2, d to the power z 2, in place of mu say another, let us take q, okay. So you have m to the power m to the power x 2, l to the power minus 3 x 2, t to the power minus y 2, l to the power z 2, and the unit of q l cube t to the power minus 1. So in terms of the dimensions you have first of all x 2 equal to 0, minus 3 x 2 plus z 2 plus 3 equal to 0, and minus y 2 minus 1 equal to 0. So y 2 is equal to minus 1 and z 2 is minus 3, right. So what is pi 2? Q by this one n d cube, right. Let us consider similarly pi 3 and pi 4. Rho to the power x 3, n to the power y 3, d to the power z 3 into gh, okay. So you have m to the power x 3, l to the power minus 3 x 3, then t to the power minus y 3, l to the power z 3, and this is L square t to the power minus 2. So you have again x 3 equal to 0, then minus 3 x 3 plus z 3 plus 2 equal to 0, and minus y 3 minus 2 equal to 0. So what is z 3? Minus 2, and y 3 is also minus 2. So what is pi 3? gh by n square d square, okay. Let us consider the final one, pi 4. Rho to the power x 4, n to the power y 4, d to the power z 4 into the power. So that means m to the power x 4, l to the power minus 3 x 4, t to the power minus y 4, l to the power z 4, and in terms of the power m l square t to the power minus 3. So you have x 4 plus 1 is equal to 0, minus 3 x 4 plus z 4 plus 2 equal to 0, minus y 4 minus 3 0. So, x4 is minus 1, y4 is minus 3 and z4 minus 5. So, pi 4 is p by rho n cube d to the power 5. Okay. So, from this we can see that the important parameters, the output parameters which are of our interest, forgetting about the Reynolds number dependence, the important output parameters are related some way to the characteristics of the rotordynamic machine. What are the two important characteristics of the rotordynamic machine? One is the rotor diameter, of course it may vary from the inner to the outer, but whatever is the local diameter, the rotor diameter and the RPM. So, you basically have that if you have geometrically similar machines and they are also kinematically similar and they are also dynamically similar. So, if you consider all sorts of similarities into account, that means you call them as a machine of a homologous series, basically similar types of machines in all respects. Then for those you must have pi 2, pi 3 and pi 4 to be the same, that is they should not change from one machine to the other if they are of the same homologous type. What it means is that you have q by n d cube, that is one parameter. So, let us just write those again, pi 2, pi 3 gh by n square d square and pi 4 as p by rho n cube d to the power 5. Now, if we consider that if there are machines which are of the same type, but they only vary in terms of either the RPM or the diameter. So, from here we can conclude that you must have h varies as n square d square, q varies as n d cube and p varies as n cube d to the power 5, with a note or with an understanding that rho and g are constants. Of course, if those are variables then you have to consider the variations of those also, but we are considering. So, what we are considering, say you have a centrifugal pump of a particular size and rotating in a particular with a particular RPM. You want to make a model test of that. So, you make a model of a different size and the model RPM you have to design. So, if you have designed it with a particular model RPM and a particular model size, then the ratio of the heads developed in the model and the prototype, the flow rates in the model and the prototype, the power in the model and the prototype, they should be varying in accordance to this relationship. So, these are known as similarity laws for a rotordynamic fluid machine. Sometimes what you do is you do not change the machine, but one particular machine you run with a different RPM, that is you keep D fixed, but you run it with a different RPM, and many times that is important because if you are doing an experiment of a performance test, then you are not really running it with a single RPM, but running with different possible RPMs. And important thing at the end is that no matter with whatever RPM you run, the machine has a rated RPM and all its characteristics are quoted at a rated RPM. Rated means a sort of designed RPM. So, if you want to convert your experimental result at a particular RPM to the rated RPM, then you may use these relationships again with an understanding that then D does not change, it is the same machine run at different RPMs. So, then if you have same D but different N, then I mean it is just H varies as N square, Q varies as N and P varies as N cube. These is known as affinity law. So, of course, it is a special version of the similarity laws. Now, the next important thing is, from these characterizations, is it possible to come up with a signature of a particular type of a device. So, when we say signature of a particular type of a device, again we have to be a bit more specific, that is we have to see whether we are thinking about a pump or a turbine. So, if you are thinking about a pump, important characteristics are H and Q. In fact, we have seen an example where we try to characterize the performance of a pump with a HQ curve. On the other hand, if you have a turbine, for a turbine the important characterizations are H and the power, because for a turbine it is not the flow rate or the discharge that is explicitly important, it is the power at the end that is important. And therefore, for a particular type of pump or for a particular type of turbine, you should have, for a pump as an example, for a rotodynamic type of pump, you should have a characterization involving H and Q, and for a pump of similar type that characterization should not be dependent on D, because if it is of a homologous series the characterization should be sort of universal or general, and that generalization should not be diameter dependent, because then for the same type of pump but with a different diameter the characterization will change. So, if you want to get a sort of general picture independent of the diameter, then your next objective would be to somehow combine these ones to eliminate the diameter. It is just a simple algebraic elimination. So, for example, let us concentrate on the pump as an example, centrifugal pump. So, you can write D as Q by N pi 2 to the power of 1/3, right. So, now if you write pi 3, it is GH by N square. Now, D square is Q to the power 2 by 3, then N to the power 2 by 3 into pi 2 to the power 2 by 3. So, we have just eliminated D from this. So, what we get out of this is, let us say that we want to write a non-dimensional number involving pi 2 and pi 3 where D is eliminated. It can be written in many ways, but first let us simplify this one. Pi 3 is equal to GH now into pi 2 to the power 2/3 divided by N square and then N to the power minus 2/3. So, N to the power 4/3, right, and Q to the power so you can write N to the power 4/3 into Q to the power 2/3 by GH as pi 2 to the power 2/3 by pi 3. Let us call it, this is a non-dimensional number, let us give it a name, say pi 5. This is a combination of non-dimensional numbers, so it has to be a non-dimensional number. Now, if you want to write it with n as a parameter, that means if you want to see that very simply, if you vary n, then what happens with the parameter, then like it is n to the power 4/3, if you want to write it in terms of n, you just take the 3/4 power of this term. So, if you consider pi 5 to the power 3/4, then that becomes what, n root q by GH to the power 3/4, right. This is known as non-dimensional specific speed of a centrifugal pump. Now you can see that what it tries to represent. Let us say that you are writing it writing this expression in a dimensional form, that is see, this is a dimensionless parameter, but you have to keep in mind that g is something which does not vary. So an equivalent of this parameter in a dimensional form could be written as n root q by h to the power 3 by 4. It is going to give the same meaning as this parameter because g is a constant, but only thing is that this is not a dimensionless parameter. But let us say that you forget about the dimension, you use some consistent dimensions, that is you say consider q equal to 1 and h equal to 1, then this in whatever dimensions, then this will give some speed n, it will give back n. So that we call as something as ns, this is the dimensional specific speed. Why we are going through this? Fundamentally from fluid mechanics point of view we should have stopped here, but this is what is the industrial practice. So we have to see that I mean the industrial practice is not that it is deviated from the fundamentals, but it is somewhat simplified to take into account certain things. Since g is no way going to influence your behavior, so you get rid of the g and you call it as a speed, keeping in mind that this is not actually unit of speed. So this is a misnomer, this is not a speed, but it is as if like if you forget about the units and if you put q equal to 1 and h equal to 1, you get n equal to ns. That means specific speed is sort of an equivalent speed of a geometrically similar pump, say specific speed of a pump, centrifugal pump is an equivalent speed of a centrifugal pump, rotational speed of course, which is developed under unit head and unit discharge for the same type of for the geometrically similar type of pump. So if there are geometrically similar rotodynamic pumps, then for another geometrically similar pump the speed is same as specific speed if q equal to 1 and h equal to 1. This is just a way of interpreting this, but important thing is that still it holds that idea that this parameter, or in fact this pi 5 to the power 3 by 4 is an important signature of homologous types of fluid machines, say homologous types of pumps. So when you have different n and q and h, and these are important parameters for a pump, so and then they should be related. If it is a pumps of a homologous type, the specific speed should be a constant, it should not vary from say one particular pump to the other particular pump. And here the advantage of this is that you have written this in terms of a parameter that is independent of the diameter. So you are explicitly writing it in terms of the operating parameters n, q and h. The geometry is not explicit in it, but it is implicit in it because we are considering only geometrically similar pumps to have kinematic similarity and dynamic similarity, for which you have relevant dimensionless parameters combined one with the other. So you cannot really compare say two different pumps or say one pump with a turbine as an example, but this gives you a bit of more flexibility than the similarity laws, in a way that you could compare the specific speeds of two different pumps and try to have a cross assessment. That means you may definitely have a relative assessment of specific speeds of one type of pump, say you have a radial flow type of pump. So radial flow type of pump may have different ranges of specific speeds. So different radial flow pumps you may have different specific speed, but say you have an axial flow pump. So for the axial flow pump the geometry is a bit different, the flow nature is a bit different, but these are the important non-dimensional parameters which are still valid for that. And then for that type of a situation you are having this characterization independent of the rotor geometry, and therefore even if it is not geometrically similar you can have a sort of comparison between pumps of different types as an example. So that is why this parameter is considered to be a very flexible parameter which does not contain explicitly any information on the geometry, and therefore, it is not always necessary that you compare the specific speed of say one pump with another geometrically similar pump. You may have even a comparison with another geometrically dissimilar pump, provided these are the important characteristics, and yes, for a rotodynamic device these are the important characteristics. Now, the next thing is that when in industry these types of parameterizations are used, since this is a dimensional parameter, it should depend on the units that you are putting for N, Q and H. So, typically so different countries and different industries have different ways of like standardizing these, and for example, one may have a standardization with say N as RPM, Q as meter cube per second and H as meter, and sometimes then this specific speed, dimensional specific speed is given a sort of unit of revolution or something like that, but it is usually, I mean the unit is not quoted by the industry. So, these are certain conventions. If you know that what are the units that you have already put for N, Q and H and that you are going to consistently put, then whatever changes are there only changes in terms of numbers, and therefore, this number will reflect some sort of this non-dimensional behavior, but in a but in a fashion where you are putting dimensional parameters. So, different pumps will have different specific speeds, and we will try to compare different pumps with different specific speed when we come across a few other types of pumps beyond the standard radial flow pump that we have seen. Now, if you consider a turbine,